Um, it's supposed to be. My bad. Sorry about that. Yeah. So since we know that, right? Since we know we have to get our CEUs, it's best not to wait until the last minute. Okay. And so I don't know if it's 17 or whatever. So I've taken part of it and finished already. Okay. Um, and that gives me 9 credits towards SHRM, SHRM, which is basically like human resources. Okay. I'll take it. Okay. And then once I get that certification, then I'm going to add it to my LinkedIn profile. Okay. And then I can also reach out, I can coach individuals and teams. Okay. Because as content creators, we have to figure out how can I maximize my time? Okay, we have to work smarter, not harder. Okay, so not only I can use this with individuals, I can also use this with teams. Okay, so because we know a lot of these organizations out there, they need our help. Okay, because we were part of a lot of these organizations. Okay, and it's like, why did you quit? I quit because it was a toxic work environment. That's why I quit. Okay? Because I'm not going to accept anything. I don't have to. I got, we all have skills and gifts. I have a associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's degree, and 39 years of government service. Okay? So you're going to have to come right or don't come at all. Okay? Because I'm not taking no BS from nobody. Neither should you. Okay? We getting our CEUs, we perfected our skills, our gifts and the things that we bring to the world for a reason. Okay? This was not free. I had to pay for it. Okay? So I paid for it front, okay? So I can get a return on my investment. Okay? There was a lot of classes out there I could have took. Okay? I also could have took the disc. I had a choice actually between the two classes because Wiley, okay, Wiley, I'm sure most of you guys know about Wiley. It's a very prominent organization, okay, and they are a tried and proven name. So I'm like, okay, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel and come up with my own programs, okay, which takes time and effort. Then you have to test out, you have to test it, A and B testing, and see, okay, does people resonate with this? Okay, um, how much money can I make on this program? How much I could charge per person for this program. Okay. Well, I eliminated all that. I went directly to Wiley, and I was like, okay, I want to take your course. They said, well, we can make you a authorized partner. Okay, we'll make you an authorized partner. We'll give you all the marketing materials. We'll give you everything that you need to set you up to succeed. And I'm like, okay, work with that. That way I can use their stuff and just promote it. Okay. So they say, okay, what kind of facilitation experience do you have? And I'm like, well, I don't have any facilitation experience because my employer saw fit to not allow me to do facilitating because to do so, that means that it would allow me to elevate and to grow within the organization. Everybody else had an opportunity to grow, but me. They said, no, you can't have that. We can't allow you to do that. Okay, fine. So a lot of things they kept us from doing so they can keep us down here. Okay. So so what I did, so what I did is I went back to school. I paid for the bachelor's degree with a student loan. Okay. Then I got my master's degree um with another student loan because I end up paying off the bachelor's degree. Okay. Because we know how much interest they charge on that. So I think I made some payment arrangements with the student loan people to get the payment down to like 400 and some dollars a month, which I know I can't pay that. But I'm like, okay, that I got them down from $1,000 a month to 400. Okay, ask me how many of those payments I made. Maybe about two or three. Okay, but if I have a choice between paying the student loan or paying the mortgage, and the lights and the gas, that student loan will never get paid. I mean, eventually, I guess. And if I die, I don't care. I don't care where they get the money from. Okay. But other people in the organization, especially the engineers, okay, they paid all of their classes. They paid for the mentoring. They paid for them to go to all of these conferences and all of these things that they can put on their resume. It's actually building them up. Okay, they're building them up. But for me, people look like me, marginalized leader, we have to work 10 times as hard and we still don't get nothing. Okay? So what do? We have to make we have to either accept what they give us, which is really nothing but a paycheck. And then they say, oh, you should be glad to get your paycheck. Yeah, I am. I'm glad. 'Cause you ain't give me nothing. I earned it. Okay? You ain't gave me nothing. Like they done did something. They ain't did nothing. So, like I said, we're talking about this. Okay, I got the book, and there's also a field guide. Okay, and this gentleman here, uh, Patrick Lencioni, is a national bestseller, and this book was written in 2014. Just think about it. If each and every one of us write a book, we can do the same thing. We all have the gifts and skills and everything that we need to be successful. I don't know at what point he signed up with Wiley to promote his stuff, but think about it. Every book you write, you could actually do the same thing he did. You could create a field guide. You can partner with other organizations to lift your material out there, okay, and to make a difference in the world, okay. This book was written in 2014, and Wiley offers this course maybe I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year, and I know he's making good money. Okay, he's also making royalties off the sale of his book in addition to the course. Okay, you can also create other things. You can create cups, hats. I thought about all these things too. Okay, there's a lot we can do. Okay, especially we all have musical talents. Okay, I do too, and I'm like, okay, I can capitalize on my musical talents, but I don't have to put it on Substack. I can put it somewhere else. Okay, I can put it on somewhere else. I can open up. Think about it. We can open up Patreon. Patreon to only paid subscribers. I can go there. If I want to sing, I can put my songs out there. If I whatever I want to do, I can do it under another platform, and I have more flexibility. I charge what I want, do what I want. Okay, and so the only person that limits us is ourselves. Okay, that's the only person that's limiting us from what I can see. Okay, and they say this is for leaders. This is for leaders, managers, and facilitators. Okay, and they said, "Well, Margaret, do you have any experience with facilitation?" I said, "No, I don't." But then I thought about it. I was like, "Well, what am I doing here on Substack if I'm having these lives, okay, and these it's facilitation? Think about it." So I said, "Yeah, I am facilitating." Okay, and I got a book that talks about it. Okay. I got so many books I haven't even read yet. But anyway, sitting up there. But I still can. All right. Because I don't necessarily want to read. I like listening to the audiobooks. Okay. Because I can listen to audiobooks. Think about it. When I'm in the kitchen washing dishes. Okay, well, if I'm in the bathroom taking a shower, whatever. So audio give us much more flexibility. That's why I do the audios. Okay, with my voice, I can use AI, but I prefer not to because I think that my voice is more powerful than AI. Okay, because my voice, I can it's just something about the your voice versus AI. There is no comparison. Okay, I'll sit up there and I'm gonna tell you, I hate this script, and I gotta find one to replace it because I'll do the audio. Okay, and I'm like, why is it doing this? Then I have to go in. I have to uh the S's and the P's or whatever. And you don't hear it all. And I'm like, I don't like that. So sometimes I might have to do that thing 2 or 3 times. For me, okay, if it's not acceptable to me, I'm not going to just put anything out there to you. Okay, it's got to make sense. Okay, it's got to sound right. And I'm like, I know that nothing is going to be 100%. We know that, right? So we get close to 100% as we can, and then we figure from there, okay, um, is it acceptable? Yeah, it's going to be acceptable because I'm not going to do it any more times, okay? So that temperance, I think I did that like 2 or 3 different times, and I really didn't like the way it was flowing, okay? So I'm like, okay, I'll do it again, and I just don't like the script. I just got to find something better. Okay, I I need to. So I know I got Riverside, and I need to start using it. So I like maybe I should start using it from there. I like the script because after I do the audio, okay, and do all the adjustments and everything, then I add the background. All right, so. We just have to be flexible and adaptable. Now, I had started talking about this the other day, okay? And I don't know how many of you guys took the disc. Okay, the disc test is the D stands for dominate, the stand for influence, the S stands for steadiness, and the C stands for conscientious. Okay, so I am a D, dominate, dominant. Okay, that's just my personality. It is what it is. You figure out what your personality is, figure out what resonates most with you. And I'm like, oh, now I understand why I am a D. Okay. But I wasn't that way always in the past when I was working because I would have been fired. I mean, I did, but in a calm, quiet way. Okay. I'm like, okay, I had to dim my light when I was at work because it's like people are very envious and jealous. And it's like, what the hell? I mean, I worked for the government for 39 years. I'm not an imbecile. You wouldn't have hired me if I didn't know something, okay? I was highly sought after and you said, "Okay, yeah, you come on over here, we'll take you." But then when I get over there, then they're going to treat me like crap. And I'm like, "Man, you can't have it both ways." They letting me know, "Okay, you're not nothing here. So, you just stay in your place." I'm like, "Okay, yes ma'am. I'll stay in my place until it's time for me to go." Okay? So, in this book we it's a triangle, okay, and at the bottom of we'll call it pyramid because I was in Egypt and I saw the pyramids anyway. um Trust is at the bottom because is without trust you have no relationship, you have nothing, okay. And then from there we go to conflict. Conflict is necessary, okay, because we have to break out of these old patterns that are no longer serving us. People, places, things. Okay, we have to break out of these things and to become the person that we want to be. We have to get rid of all this programming, okay, from birth, and we have to truly work on ourselves. Okay, because many of us, including me, have a lot of internal conflict. Okay, a lot of internal conflict. The most conflict I have with anyone is with myself. Okay, because I can be my own worst enemy. Okay. So when we talked about trust, I'm like, I don't trust nobody, not really, because I've been betrayed so many times. But do I trust myself? Do I trust myself to make the right decisions for me? And what are those based on? Right. So for me, it all stems back to my values. What do you value? Okay? Ask yourself that. I value trust. I value loyalty. I value commitment. Okay? And accountability. And all of these things going to lead to results. Okay? What type of results do you want to get? Well, what are you willing to put in? Right? Integrity. Yes, absolute integrity. Absolute. That should have been at the top of the list too. But anyway, these dysfunctions they're talking about and these elements, okay, they're all in incongruent with my values, okay? Because Lencioni here, he talks about trust at the bottom, then he talks about conflict, okay? Many of us, including me, I don't like conflict. Okay, I like to nip that shit in the bud right off the bat because if we don't, it's just going to resentment is going to build. Okay, and when resentment builds, uh, one day you're going to explode on somebody or something. Okay, and that's not good. So address these issues when they rear their ugly head. Okay, nip that shit in the bud. It's like okay, let's sit here and have a talk. Okay, let's sit here and have a talk. All right. And let's talk about this problem that we have here. We all know that there's a conflict. Okay. You can feel it in your body and I can feel it in mine. And then when you get into the office, then you can feel that how can you work like that? And you having all these negative feelings, anxiety, and everything. How can you show up in a positive way with all this stuff simmering? Okay. Because 9 times out of 10, that person is pissed off too. So let's address it. Okay? If we have to sit here, I'd rather sit here now and have a civil conversation than go to blows later. Because I'm not gonna fight nobody. I never really was a fighter. Not physically anyway. I'll fight mentally. Okay. But I don't want to fight, period. Okay. So how can we resolve these conflicts? Maybe the person felt like I overstepped my bounds. Okay. As a D, all right, as a D dominant person, I probably did because I say what I say what I mean what I say, and a lot of people get offended. I'm like, damn, I can't say nothing about that because I'm a highly sensitive person too. So I have to own it. Okay, I probably pissed off a lot of people. Okay, some I don't care. Most, some things I do care about. So I try to be mindful how I come across. My mother used to say, "It's not what you say, it's how you say it." It's- If I am, if I'm upset about something, I'm going to sit and reflect on it, the pros and cons, okay, before I have the conversation with the individual. I'm gonna check myself. I'm gonna say, uh, what's going on, Margaret? Is this something out of the ordinary for you? Is this something that, I'm gonna check myself and make sure before I talk to you. Okay? Because I don't want to come to you with my heart, my chest beating fast and I'm having this anxiety and all these things because I'm going to end up taking it out on you. Okay. And we need to understand that. So I'm like, okay, let me just calm down before I have this conversation. Then we can sit down and figure out, okay, all right, what is your feelings on this? Okay. Because sometimes we can project ourselves onto other people. And I really don't want to do that. Okay. So, and we can make a lot of assumptions that are not true. Okay. So I want to address the person up front. I'm like, hey, are me and you good? Because they might like, oh yeah, we good. And then you know yourself, no, we not good. And because I can sense that. So let's talk about it. Let's not avoid it. Here to talk to you about this calmly. Because I have a very bad temper. And I know that. Okay. Because when I come for you, it's not gonna be pretty. Okay. So rather than to go through that, let's just sit down and be civil and talk to each other, in a calm voice and figure out how we can solve the problem. Okay, because we have to put our egos aside to get this job done. It's not going to do itself. Okay, it's not. So what can we do? Okay. Well, Margaret, you just quick to make judgments or this or that the other. And my disc also says that I, I don't take well with incompetency. Okay, if you're incompetent, we're not going to end up well. Okay, period. Okay, because I don't like it. Okay, and I'm not going to do your work for you. You're going to figure it out yourself. Okay, I'm not going to do your work and mine too. Those days are over. So what? So what are you going to do? Are you going to get it done? Are you, or what? Okay, because I'm not going to cover you. I'm not going to cover you because once you start covering person, then they're going to expect for you to do it all the time. No, no, I'm not covering you. You get your own work done. I have my work done. When at the end of the day, I get the same paycheck. When my rating period comes up, it's not even going to be reflected on there. All these people that I helped and took time for uh, to neglect my own work for. Okay, because you think they're gonna go and tell the boss, "Oh, Margaret helped me with that." No, they ain't gonna tell them that. They're gonna say, "Yeah, here, I got it done." Okay, that's where people are. Most people are out for themselves. Okay, and they'll forget that you even helped them. And then you come back, then they come back around next week. Oh, I having a problem with this report. Can you help me? No, boo. I showed you that shit last week. You figure it out. Did you write down a SOP? How to do? I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I can't do it. Then they'll go to my supervisor. Well, Margaret, she's being a bitch and she won't help me. Oh, you didn't tell the supervisor I helped you 2 or 3 times before. You didn't tell her that. See? Snitch. Okay? You can't trust nobody. So if we have to find a way to resolve the conflict. Okay? Do you want a win-win? Win-lose or lose-lose situation? I'm not losing. I'm not in the business of losing. Let's get that right now. Because the D, we all about a win. I want to see a W. Okay? I will not accept a failure. If I have to leave you behind, I would do that. Okay? And just separate myself from you permanently, okay? Because you're not bringing me down and I'm not going to lose, period. Okay? I will tell the supervisor, yeah, I had this conversation. As far as I'm concerned, this person is incompetent and I don't want them in my where I am. Wherever I am, I want them to be in the opposite way. If I have to tell the person that, I will tell them to the face. Okay? I'm not going to sit up and lie and sugarcoat it. Okay, and I'm sitting up there hurting and feeling left out, and I'm feeling brought down because I'm letting this incompetent person bring me down. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, and I'm not letting you take the credit for my work, period, because people will do that. Okay, they'll copy your stuff and turn it in as their own. Oh yeah, here, I did this. And then when it's time to get the evaluations, they get a highly successful. Okay, that was another thing. Okay, I worked 39 years. Okay, I have so many certificates that I've received from generals and colonels. I didn't get nothing from them people. Okay. The award that I got when I got there, it was from my previous employer because they told me, we don't care what you did at your previous places. It doesn't matter here. It does matter. Because if I didn't have that experience from all those other places, motherfucker, you wouldn't have hired me. Okay? Now it don't matter. Oh, now that I'm here, it don't matter because you don't want to recognize me for the person, the value that I bring to this damn team. That's so disrespectful. Okay? There was never any trust in that place. So if I didn't have any trust, nothing can come of it but conflict from day one to the day I decided to leave. And commitment, I said to myself, I spent my whole career, selfless service, fulfilling this for to help other people and to help the world. Okay, so was I still committed? Yeah, I was committed because I wasn't going to let them bring me down. Okay? Because then they'll say, well, you know what? She come here when she feel like it, and then she only give us 50%. See, they're gonna always have some kind of backup to give you some crappy ass performance rating. Okay? Oh, well, she can only come in here when she feel like, and she only give us 50%. So she really don't need this job or deserve the job, or she don't even deserve uh, recognition. When after she told me that they didn't care what I did other places, I knew I wasn't gonna get no recognition. Okay, because give me any recognition whatsoever would kill them. Okay, it would kill them because there was only two black people in the damn building, me and this guy. Okay, and I told him, I like, don't let them see you talking to me, because then you'll be on their shit list. Okay, because they'll be looking over. What are they over there talking about? What they got to say? Then they keep coming back and forth. I was like, please, just go away. Okay, just go away because I don't need no problems from them. Okay, because if you're looking for dirt, you don't have to look far. Okay, I should have told the supervisor, look at your own office, look at yourself. You don't have to look far at all. But I couldn't tell her that anyway. So my commitment was still 100%. Did it change anything? No, but it did for me because when I left that place, I felt good knowing, okay, I completed this modification today. I sent it to the contracting officer, and she shouldn't have nothing to say. But they take my freaking report. They take a magnifying glass. Okay, looking at every word. Okay, what do you see? How many mistakes you see? Okay, because then I'm working on another modification. Then they'll call me in the office. Oh, we had a complaint. Oh, really? What did I do now? I'm thinking to myself, I ain't gonna say that to them because then she'll have some ammunition. She can put that in her report. So when they have my performance evaluation or meeting or whatever, then they can say, "Oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, speaking of that." So I'm like, okay, whatever. I can't win whatever I do. So whatever she say, it is what it is. Just take it with a grain of salt. That's what I did. 'Cause that shit used to eat me alive. After they eat me and chew me up, then you expect for me to get this uh $100,000 modification out. How can I get that out? And my mind is messed up because you done told me all this crap. So I had to go outside and get myself together. I'm like, I can't let them uh let use this as another way of bringing me down. Okay, so my commitment was there. So they was grasping at straws. Really, they didn't have nothing on me other than they just didn't like me. They did. They was jealous of me and envious, and they was just looking for anything they could. Okay, so then the next one is accountability. All right, they want me to be accountable. I was always accountable. If you called me, they called me in the middle of the night or something. They did do that because when Trump first started, he came up with all kind of regulations, all kinds of stuff. We used to every Monday when we come in, that was Pete Hegseth. He say, "Okay, we want to know what you did last week." I don't remember what I did yesterday. How the hell you expect for me to remember what I did last week? Okay, so I'm like, okay, this is some bullshit. So I started writing down every day what I did. Basically, I did the same thing every day. Okay, so it's not science, but again, they want to use this like as a measuring stick. Okay, well, you did these number of mods last week. You did 4 mods last week. Well, maybe it was more, it wasn't complex. Okay, all right. So, but this week I only did 2. What's going on here? Okay, damn, you got to measure when I go to the bathroom, when I go to lunch. Oh yeah, they do. Because one day, because I had pissed them off. Okay, I don't know about what. Okay, you just never know. So they said you came in the parking lot at 7:04. You're supposed to be at your desk at 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Do you want me to come and tell you when I got to go to the bathroom too? I'm like, seriously. So I had to be accountable for, I have no problems being accountable for my actions. Okay. I have no problem with being accountable for any mistakes that I did. Okay. None whatsoever. I have no problems with that. But accountability goes both ways. Wouldn't you think? No, no, because all those people were narcissists. Narcissists is never accountable or responsible for nothing because it's you. Okay? They just flip the script and they say, uh, no, that was you. Oh, okay. You're exempt from all these rules and regulations from government. Okay? They only apply to me. Okay? And people that look like me. And that's really is. When I started working at that organization, I didn't know what the rules were. I went to orientation and all this stuff, and I looked at the orientation. How many of those people look like me? Few and far between. Okay. So I knew my days was numbered there. Okay. And so when Trump offered me the buyout the first time, he's like, I'm gonna give you 6 months. You can stay at home. Okay. I like, no, that sounds too good to be true, especially coming from Trump. I said, no, I don't take it. Then the next one he came out with said, I'll give you 4 months. I said, I'll take it. I'll get out of here. Okay. I'll get out of here. Okay. So I was accountable enough to know that I didn't want to be somewhere that I'm not wanted. When I realize, when I get a whiff that people don't like me in certain areas, in certain places, I don't go there. I stay in my lane. I got my place right here and I'm good with it. Okay. I'm good with being alone. Okay. Because when I'm alone, I don't have all that conflict. I don't have it. Okay. I even have less inner conflict now because most of the time I was fighting with myself about what decision I should make about all these different conflicts I was having with people. And I realized the way to eliminate most of those conflicts is to eliminate the people that's bringing the conflicts in our lives. Okay? You eliminate those people, then you have less conflict. And so, guess how happy I am? I am really happy. I'm real happy. Okay? So, we have to cut out the noise, we have to cut out the BS, and we have to cut out the conflict by eliminating the people that's bringing the conflict to our lives. Okay? And if it's somebody that I'm working with, I'm like, look, I can work well with anybody, mostly, okay, because I had to. You can't go in there and tell your supervisor, I don't like any of these people and I don't want to work with them. They'll tell you, okay, you don't have to go find a new job. Okay, go find a new job because you don't have no choice about whether you're gonna get along with these people or not to get the job done. That's not an excuse. Okay, that's not a choice. That's not an option. So you're gonna figure it out. Because I don't work with so many different assholes. It's pathetic. So I had to take a lot of deep breaths and sing a lot of prayers. Okay. Yes, a lot of prayers that keep me from cursing people out. Okay. Because I know that was gonna be what do you call it when they write you up? Okay. And you get so many write-ups and you giving them the ammunition to say, you know what? We're gonna put you on a PIP. I know you know what a PIP is. Uh, Something about improvement. Okay, that's somewhere you don't want to go because once you get a pip in your records, uh, pretty soon they're gonna have enough grounds to fire you. Because in the government, when Trump came in, he got rid of collective bargaining, so they can say what they want to you. Okay, they can talk to you any kind of way, and ain't a damn thing you could do about it. Because if you say something, the next day you come in, you got written up so many times. I don't know how many times, okay, they give you before you're terminated. And the reason I went to work for the government is because I went to work for the government in 1986, okay? And I went to work for the government is because that was a good job. Because I could go anywhere in the world and I didn't have to worry about having a job, Okay. So that's what I did. But they said, you work for the government, they can't fire you. They can now. That's how many people lost their job. Okay, that was it back in the day, and that's why I stayed on that job because it was a good job. A lot of people I knew didn't do nothing during the day, and they just held on to those jobs. They sat there and then they retired. Okay, it's not like that no more. The only people that happens like that is the people that the cronies, because there's a lot of nepotism and favoritism. Oh, that's my cousin. Oh, that's my nephew. Okay, so they're going to protect all their people, and they say, "Oh, yeah, I need you to hire my cousin because she's out for the summer and she's looking for a summer job. Can you give her a job?" All this stuff that goes on, behind the scenes. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't blame them for helping their niece or whatever. Okay, but don't prevent me from getting mine. Okay, and so that's where we was at. I talked about accountability. What does accountability really mean? Okay? Standing up for what you believe in, okay? And doing your part, okay? Not throwing a rock and hiding your hand. What's that gonna do? Okay? And if you want to be credible and trustworthy, to be accountable and responsible. And if you're not, then you're low vibrational. I don't want no low vibrational people near me. Okay? I wouldn't say incompetent people are, okay? But to me, they are low vibrational. I'm sorry. If you don't know how to do your job, then how did you get hired? What did you do? Sleep with the boss or something? I'm serious. I have people out there. I don't care. You show them. I can show them 3 or 4 times how to do something, and they come back to me the next time. I don't know how to do it. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I only know one language, English. Okay, and I just don't know what to tell you because you're not my responsibility. I'm not a supervisor. Okay? I never wanted to be a supervisor. I was in Iraq because the guy told me, you do it. Because I guess he didn't trust other people to do it. Okay? This colonel. And I said, yes, sir. But still, I don't want to be nobody's supervisor to be responsible for anybody. Okay? Because you're a supervisor, and the people that work for you see dysfunction again. If they don't do the work, your boss gonna come and say, "Where's the report?" He don't give a damn who does the report. The dog can do the report. He just wants the report and know what's going on, so he can make informed decisions, and he can report to his upper echelon what the hell is going on. Okay, so I'm like, oh my god. I didn't when he told me to do this. A lot of stuff I just didn't know. I had to figure it out. Okay? I wasn't gonna go back to the man and say, you know what, sir, I don't know what you want me to do and how you want to do it. That's not the answer. Okay. When he tell you to do something, he means for you to figure it out. Okay. Read between the lines. You said you also work for the government, but it's been 180 from what it used to be. Tell me about it. That's why I quit. I retired, quit, whatever. I'm like, you can have this job, like Johnny Paycheck. Take this job and shove it. Okay. Because it ain't worth it to me. Okay. I was supposed to be gone this July. This July 28th, I would have had 40 years of service. Okay. Am I sad about it? Hell no. Because look how much I have learned since I left the federal government. I have learned way more than I would have in the federal government because they had adopted this Navy system that was going to replace maybe 25% of the workforce anyways. Okay. I never got a chance to work in that system, and I'm glad. Okay. I'm really glad because I was really tired of doing the same thing over and over again, and it's just like, okay, it's got to be something else. Okay. It's got to be something else. And so it is something else. And that's why I'm looking forward to finishing this course. I'm three-fourths done. My last class, it was 4 classes, online classes, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'll be finish with the last class tomorrow, and then it's just a matter of finishing up everything else. Then I get my certification. I get my certification from Wiley, okay, and then I can actually start putting this to use, okay, because I don't have to create anything. They already have the stuff, and I just have to get all the marketing materials, and then facilitate. I'm like, I can do that. I can figure that. I know how to talk. I know how to talk to people and how to treat people. Okay, if we know how to treat people, we can accomplish whatever we want. Okay, because we know that trust is the foundation of leadership, of any relationship. Okay, without trust, we have nothing for ourselves or no one else. And that's what we need to understand. You need to also, because the woman was trying to talk me into taking disc and the five dysfunctions of a team. And I like, no, if I have to choose between the two, I'll take this. I can go back next year, okay, when my CEUs are due again, I can take the disc. Okay. Because with this system, I can say, hey, go take the disc, and then you'll know which one of these you are. Okay. And then you'll know how to do accordingly. Like mine is this dominance. It's also it correlates with my human design. I'm a manifesting generator. Okay, I am a Gemini. I'm a communicator. Okay, and so all of these things that I am also correlates with the disc, and it correlates with the five functions of a team. Okay, so we can see correlations with all of these systems, all of these things that will allow us to become our best selves. Okay, and with this, we can help others to do the same. Okay, um, and so in saying that, the top of the pyramid, at the top of the pyramid is results. Okay, we cannot get results if we are not trustworthy, if we cannot handle conflict, and if we are not committed and have accountability. We cannot get the results, positive results that we want. Okay? It's impossible. So we need to be mindful of all of these things and see where we are in this pyramid. Okay? And this affects us all. Okay? And the dynamics of a team. Okay, because in a team we need to understand each person of our team, their strengths, their weaknesses, so we can come together, uh create this magic in the world that was given to us. Okay, when you're given an assignment, I try to do it the best of my ability. And how can I do that? I first have to establish trust, okay, with whoever I'm talking to. That is where we start. And then if you're having all these conflicts, then you have to go back to trust. Okay, well, what part did I miss about this trust? Okay, all right, because once you know each member of your team, then you will determine whether or not, well, I'm stuck with this person. They might be incompetent or whatever. I have to figure out if you find a person that's fine, because some people learning style is different, and I had to remember that. And I thought about my daughter. Okay, she she was not good in school. Okay, and so she went and got her GED, and that's okay. Okay, some people's they can't process the information. Okay, whatever. I don't know if it's ADHD, whatever the situation is. We'll just have to figure out. Okay, she wasn't good in school, but she's a truck driver and she does that very well. Okay. And she's very dedicated. She's very loyal. She don't take time off. So she might not have been good in school, but she found something else that she enjoyed that she's good at. So that's what I'm saying. The individual might not be good in the government system. That just might not be them. It just doesn't. Okay, that's fine. What can we do instead? Okay, this is that supervisor's niece. Okay, it wasn't about whether she was competent or not, just to give her a job, just to have something to put on her resume. I would have preferred. okay, baby, I think you're most suitable in this role or in this organization. Okay, where you can do much more for yourself and for others. And I think that's a part of being a leader, that we should recognize in our employees. If you see them struggling, it's a reason for it. Okay, maybe the individual is having problems at work. I mean, not at work, at home. Maybe they're having marital problems, and that's why they can't function well at work, because they can't sleep at night. So that's why we have to establish this trust with people, so we can understand, oh, Mary is not herself. And she's been like this for a few weeks. Let me go check on her and see what's going on. Okay? Because her work is not good right now. Okay? And I have to get her, I have to redo her work. I've been having to redo her work. And that's putting more pressure on me because I have my own work to do. So let me go sit down and talk to her and see what's going on. Okay? As a supervisor, I think you would want to do that. Okay? Maybe she's having, maybe she found out she was diagnosed with cancer. We don't know. Can't make assumptions. We have to check on people and find out. That's our responsibility, right? That's the right thing to do. Okay? And so I know I'm not the most patient person in the world, okay? But I try to put myself in another person's shoes. Okay? We should all try to do that. When we put ourselves in somebody else's shoes, then we can have compassion for them. We can have empathy, because their problem today, it could be us tomorrow. Okay? We could be having the same problems a year from now, or two weeks, or whatever. We would want somebody to have compassion for us. Okay, Joe. Joe said, I work for lawyers. They hired me because I looked and behaved right. It was a disaster. Hilarious. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? People have their own agendas, okay? And their own expectations, okay? So I'm sure you made the best of that situation, okay? We never know what these people, what's in their head, okay? But we have to do our job. We can't, we have to come right. Okay. Everybody's not going to be right. And we know that. But we come right and we do our part. At the end of the day, consider it a win. Okay. I'll take it. Okay. And so, I'm looking forward to finishing this course. Okay. Getting my CEUs. Okay. And my elevate myself. By elevating myself, I can help to elevate you guys as well. Okay. And that's why we're here. So I would say, hey, you guys write articles? Great. We all write. I don't, I mean, I still write, but I like making video with it. Then I can reach out, I can get more people outside of Substack. Okay. Every time I submit a video, it goes to Amazon, Apple, okay? YouTube is going to all these different countries, okay? So they can decide whether they want to read it, whether they want to watch the video, okay? We got to give people options. You just give them one thing, it's like, that's all you got? Okay, I'm just saying. How else can we get it out? Because, like I said the other day, the hearing impaired, they can listen to it, okay? You got the blind, they can't read, but they can listen. So we need to take that in consideration when we're putting our material out. How other ways we can get it out to people. Okay? We can't just think about ourselves. Okay? The more people you can reach, the better. The more transformation you can provide to the world. Okay? So always look at the big picture, not just the minute things. Okay? Don't do that. Don't put yourself in a box. We've all been in this box for too long. Break yourself free from this box that's keeping us down and is keeping us from reaching our goals. Okay, let's stop the madness and let's stop listening to all this crap that doesn't benefit us at all. Okay, when we focus on ourselves, we can create a better family, better teams, okay, better community, and a better world. And that's what we want to do today. Okay, and these five dysfunctions re- relate to me too because I have a lot of dysfunction coming from a dysfunctional family. Okay, and recognizing that and recognizing when our behavior is off and it needs to be checked. I'd rather check it myself than have somebody else come back. Margaret, you know what? You didn't do right. You know what I'm saying? But if I do make a mistake, which I do, I'm a human, I will own up to it and figure out what I can do better. And we should all be about how we can improve. That's why feedback is so important to get feedback from you guys. How am I doing? Am I doing okay? Can I do better? What would you prefer I do instead? I haven't put out a survey again in a while because I really just said, okay, they don't want to give me feedback, so why should I keep putting it out? Keep putting it out anyway. Like Mother Teresa. Okay? Do it anyway. It ain't gonna hurt. Okay? Maybe instead of 6 questions, I can put 3 questions out instead, and maybe I'll get more responses. So we can't give up just because we didn't get succeed the first time. Try again. Keep knocking on the door. Don't stop knocking on that door because one day that door is going to open and they're going to say, "Oh, we were looking for you. Where were you?" Keep knocking on that door. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Okay? Because you don't know who's watching and who's listening. Somebody's always listening and watching. They don't always respond, but trust and believe. You are each and every one of you are making a difference in this world. And you got to be mindful of that. Okay? Oh, okay, yeah. I'll put a link on there because yeah, this is Lezioni. He's on Amazon and wherever else. I'll make sure to add this book, Field Guide, in the article. Okay? And I don't want to keep you long. And I told my guests, if you don't show up, I'm gonna start on time, whether you hear or not. Because I am not gonna not show up for the people that support me. Okay? I'm gonna show up for you when I'm supposed to. When I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Okay? I try to. Okay? So um I want to thank you all for showing up today. Really. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay? And please keep keeping on. Okay? Don't ever give up. I don't care how bad things appear to be. Because trust and believe they can always be worse. What's worse is that we're not alive anymore. As long as we're alive, we got a chance. Okay? So don't ever give up. I never gave up, and you can't either. I'm not gonna let you give up either. And I want to thank you today. I know I have another live soon. And I'll see you soon again. Okay? You guys have got any questions? Okay. Um, you said I don't know who wasn't hired, but I realized I already had my foot in the door, and that was wrong. And I have always been barely making it. Took the work. You are very courageous, Joe. I like your style. You don't never give up. Okay, I talk more the last few times than you ever have, and I enjoy that. Okay, because you really got a lot to say. All right, and thank you all for your time. Okay, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye.